There are tons of crazy things I've had hallucinations and delusions about, but today is the paranoia side of things. The biggest thing I want to discuss is my fear of the government or authority figures. There's been times where I've locked myself in my room thinking the CIA is after me. There's bushes in my backyard, so I'll think they're hiding behind them. It's part of the reason why I've kept blackout curtains in my bedroom, because when I do get paranoia, it calms me down to where I can quote unquote can't be seen. I probably won't ever videotape my episodes because they're pretty embarrassing. I get agitated, scared, just overall very emotional. I just don't want people to see that side of me. But the biggest thing I get paranoid about is, like I said, authority figures. It seems as real as day when I go into a full-blown paranoia attack. The paranoia seems more real than hallucination, so it's hard to get myself out of the situation. Pretty much only medication can help. The people that are so-called after me tend to be wanting to hurt me in my paranoid delusions. So the paranoia side of my schizophrenia is a very, I want to say, important side of schizophrenia, because a lot of people who do have schizophrenia do have the paranoia side of things before they get to the hallucinations, to my understanding. So say I'm sitting in my room, I'm nervous about something, I'm stressed out about something, and all of a sudden I get into my head that for some reason the CIA is after me. Obviously the CIA is not going to be after me. Like, that's just such a far out thought that, like, it's not true. But for some reason my mind is going to the place where they're after me, they want me. And sometimes I get into my head to where I think they're wanting to recruit me sometimes, or sometimes I think they're wanting to like get me, like kill me and stuff. But like, it gets a little bit, it gets pretty scary, because like, to someone who has schizophrenia and their paranoia, it's just as real as like everything else in life. There's a very fine line between hallucinations you can tell that aren't real, and then like paranoia and hallucinations you can't tell are real. So like, it's very scary when it starts going into you can't tell if it's real or not aspect. And just when you start going into like everything that like happens, if there's one word I can describe schizophrenia, it's scary. Scary because you don't know what the outcome is going to be until the outcome's already like kind of happened. Like, you don't know if like something really bad's going to happen to you. Like, you don't know if you're just going to like run to a street. Like, you just hear these horror stories about people with schizophrenia. So like, it's a worry of yours. And like, you just worry about like, because I've never done anything that's like harmful to anyone or even myself or anything. I've never done anything like that. I've been overall peaceful as far as everything went. I just kind of have weird thoughts. It's still in the back of your mind. Like, what if I do snap and like something does happen? It's just you hear about these horror stories and like, you just think, what if that does turn out to be me? Like, because with the paranoia, it gets really heartbreaking when you do hear about stories like people ended up in hospitals and stuff, because like, you know, they're good people and everything. They just didn't get all the help they could have gotten, because like, if I didn't get all the help that I've gotten so far, I would be I'd either be in the hospital or I'd be on the streets. Like, there'd be no doubt about it, because I wouldn't be able to function. But like, going back to the paranoia, how do I describe how real it is? Because I have to somehow like calm myself down, like, because I usually don't realize it's not real until it's too late, kind of thing. And I usually have to rely on someone else to get me to take my medication, because like, I'm pretty good about taking my medication if I know something's bad is like, if it's going on. Like, I'm actually really good about it. Like, if I'm really good about taking my medication if I can tell an episode is about to happen, or if I'm starting to get paranoid, I can tell I'm paranoid. But it's when you like lose sight of reality that it makes it hard to like know to take your medication, because when you're in a schizophrenic episode, you don't know that, like, because how do I like, right before you're in a schizophrenic episode, you know that it's coming. And so it just makes it really difficult to try to gauge like if you're okay or not, because you don't have unlimited medication. Like, insurance only pays for so much, so you can't just pop pills all day every day, because like certain pills I only have 20 a month of. So and there's like 30 days in a month, I can't be taking them all the time. And it's like, that's one of the real problems with like the healthcare system. Like I won't get into like all the big details of it, but like, just the fact that you can't get medication all the time, it makes it so much more difficult for people who need medication a lot, because like, I'm stuck on like certain medications that like don't necessarily help the best, but it's because insurance pays for them and I can get as much as I need like on those medications. Because like, there's a medication called risperidone that it's an older medication. I take it and it really does help my paranoia and my hallucinations a lot. You have to take kind of a lot of it, because I've built up such a resistance of it, because it was the first medication I went on. And so like just when you start taking medications, you build, like, at least in my case, I built up a resistance pretty fast to them. So like if say I'm starting to get a paranoia spell and I need to take medication, so when I go to take medication, like it used to be one pill, used to just knock it flat out in 5 minutes, I'm good to go. But like now I have to take like more medication, and it's like my paranoia gets worse in that time, and then I may not want to take medication because like the medication might be bad for me, because your mind plays a lot of tricks on you, especially during the paranoia spells. It's not so much with the hallucinations. Like if I'm just hallucinating and I'm sitting there with a blank stare on my face, my mom can get me to take medication pretty easily. But it's when I'm like freaking out and like being paranoid, my mind tells me not to. Like it tells me like, and I didn't used to be this way. It's like, it's only been the last like 6 months. But like I'll start rejecting like the medication. Like she really has to play along into it and somehow like come up with a storyline to make sure I take it. And just it's like it's sad to me that like my mind does this because I don't want my mind to be this way, but like there's nothing I can really do about it. Like I don't know, just my mind just doesn't want to take the medication. And like I have to take quite a bit of it because like, and you don't want to like take too much of it because it makes you feel sick afterwards. And like it's kind of like a trade-off. So sometimes I take enough to where like I still feel sick afterwards and just get the delusion over with. It's just such a difficult subject to talk about because there's no real like normal things in the world that people like talk about schizophrenia, because lots of people have schizophrenia. It's just no one talks about it. That's why I wanted to start doing this on Twitch and YouTube, because like hardly anyone ever actually talks about it, even though it's like it's still pretty common. And like there's tons of case studies about how many people have like a little bit of schizophrenia. Like not everyone with schizophrenia is like a homeless person like yelling at the streets and stuff. But like there's tons of people with schizophrenia who just take a little bit of medication, they don't see their symptoms, and just overall just like there's a lot of people who are nowhere near as bad as me, because like I've been trying to like to find like support groups, but I like kind of live in a small town, so like there's not really any support groups for schizophrenia. I guess that's why YouTube's kind of my support group, because I just can talk about it the way I want to. But because that's the challenge of it, is like you have to navigate this world of like schizophrenia, and like you don't get like these big idols you can like look up to, because like there are people in history who have had schizophrenia, but they've never really had like the best ending. So like it's never like, it's not like you can look up to like LeBron or like Tom Brady or something and be like, they have schizophrenia, I can do it too. Because like when I was playing baseball and I like wanted to look up to like an athlete or something, there was like no one I could like really look up to. And like I know I shouldn't spend my life looking up to other people, because like everyone has skeletons in the closet, but it just, I like to have a goal I can like set, like I can like set and like do that kind of thing for, because it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me like when I don't have goals in mind and stuff like that. Because when I don't have goals, I kind of just forget about what I'm doing. Make sure to subscribe if you want me to go more in depth about my schizophrenic episodes, or if you just want to learn more about schizophrenia. And thank you for watching. Until next time, see you later.